Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part 25 of Yakuza Kiwami. And we are now starting chapter 5 and headed over to Purgatory. But first we gotta talk to Date.
Kiryu, 何か当てはあるのか?
いや、まだ思い当たらない。足を使って情報を集めてみるさ。
効率的じゃねえな。仕方ねえ。例の情報屋のところに行くしかねえか。
ひょっとして伝説の情報屋の話か。
そうだ、知ってたか。サイの花屋。この町のことは何でも知ってるって噂の情報屋だ。だがそいつがいるのは例の公園の中だ。
西公園か。
ああ、通称サイの河原。ホームレスが住み着いた公園だ。奴はそのサイの河原の中にいるらしい。だが気をつけろよ。あそこは警察も不介入の危険地帯だ。一度中に入ると出てこられないかもしれない。
だが行くしかないな。今の俺には時間がない。だってさ、はるかのことを頼めるか。
ああ、ここも安全とは言えないからな。こっちで保護しよう。
Purgatory isn't really that far. And for the record, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes down to it, once you start Purgatory, there's a very thin line of whether you can start any of the side quests in Chapter 5 or not. But if you do have some lingering side quests, Chapter 6 would be your best bet because some of them don't even activate in Chapter 5. In fact, the continuation of that fetch quest, it does not activate until Chapter 5. In fact, that fetch quest was literally right over in Purgatory, so I had to open it up in order to find the guy who's there, and that fetch quest is going to have to wait until I go back to Purgatory in Chapter 6. So whatever the case, 5 is very finicky. You can actually do like games such as Mahjong or go to Jewel if you needed to. I wanted to do that then, but I just want to go on ahead and get Purgatory open because Purgatory is definitely a must in order for me to not only get some of the Mezukin cards, but also get the pocket circuit fighting racing parts that happen to be in the vicinity. So, I'm just chatting with some lady, but there isn't any more there is sub-stories in Chapter 5. They don't necessarily trigger when you're in the midst of events, so most likely you're going to end up having to start them and do them on Chapter 6. But there was a sub-story that started in Chapter 5, and basically it's you having to trying to think of it. Oh no, there were some sub-stories in Chapter 4 actually that involved bowling, and there was still some left. I probably most likely will do most of them, if not all of them, between Chapter 6 and Chapter 7, because Chapter 8 it's gonna be back to Majima everywhere. Sorry. Almost said Yakuza everywhere. Of course there's Yakuza everywhere. It's Yakuza. But talking to this guy, it does not matter. I think the guy you're looking for with the tape, again, is in Purgatory. And then you gotta give a suitcase to some rich guy. So that'll finish off the side quest. But for now, all the guys who are basically standing there, they're all talking about there's nothing to see here in Purgatory. And of course, here's Majima. Majima is just chilling out, taking a smoke break. This confirms that you will not be seeing Majima again until Chapter 8. If not, most definitely the end of Chapter 5 most certainly will confirm that Majima's not coming back until Chapter 8. Because, yeah, His henchmen are real, how should I put it? Shoot first and ask questions later. But then again, Majima made him that way. So, let's just go into the restroom stalls to get into Purgatory.
なあ、あんた。張り紙あったろ。使用現金。ちゃんと見たか？じゃあ、何されても文句ねえな。
うっせえろ。こっちはヤクザに用はねえ。消えろって言ってんだ。
公衆便所はみんなのもんだろ。
てめえ。
はい。はい。ええ、そうです。わかりました。通していいそうだ。こっちだ。
ご案内します。キリュさん。
もう身元が追われたのか。
サイの河原だぜ、ここは。
ボスは地下の一番奥でお待ちしています。どうぞ。
10 years ago, this used to be a haven where Kiryu was hiding out from the Dojima family. And now here we are. This happened to be the secret entrance to the area of Purgatory. But on top of that, you had to come here in order to get some brand new weapons. Or for the most part, you had to get some parts for Pocket Circuit Fighter, as well as some cards for Mezuki. 5 of them ended up being here, so I had to wait till chapter 5. And you still gotta find at least 20 more in order to complete the entirety of the side quests. So yeah, we got 30. We just need 40 in order to get the no, actually we need 40 to get the CP and 50 to get the CP as well, which would be basically collecting them all. And this is Komeki. For those of you who haven't seen my Yakuza 0 playthrough, this was the trainer of Majima. He trained Majima in the thug style. Also gave Majima his own tiger drop. So, needless to say, ladies and gentlemen, we're basically learning from the master of Majima in order to get ourselves some moves. And ironically enough, we won't be able to deal with him until chapter 8. So yeah, we have to literally learn from Majima's old master in order for us to get more skills needed in order to defeat Majima. I'm pretty sure one of those skills is going to be Tiger Drop, which is going to be a very, very valuable skill. However, we have to wait till chapter 8 in order to learn that. Unfortunately, the guy we're looking for is not around right at this point. So, we will have no choice but to go into Purgatory and meet with the Florist. Because, oh, that's the way out. And it's locked off, so we're gonna have to go in where, Gary Buster Holmes is. And for the record, that guy's a reoccurring character. Gary Buster Holmes will be in almost, no, will be practically in every game, starting Yakuza Kiwami. And he's going to be a mainstay until, well, yeah, he's going to be a mainstay and also a pound mate in Yakuza Like a Dragon. Now, will he be in the game following? I'm not sure, because Infinite Wealth I haven't played yet. So, I will point out that you are going to earn a lot of money in Purgatory. While the gambling casino will give you chips, if you get access to Purgatory's gambling casinos, you can earn a lot of money here. Moreover, there's one thing in particular that is well known about Purgatory. It is home to the underground. Yeah, you are going to literally be fighting off in the tournaments. And in the Purgatory underground tournaments, they can be tough, but they can also net you some money. Yeah, that's actually the casino right there, that double door. We can't get to that just yet. We're not at the right chapter. That'll be chapter 8. Or most likely chapter 6, one of the two. But whatever the case, let's meet the master of the Purgatory.
Kiryu Kazuma. 出所早々派手にやってるみてえだな。
あんたがサイの花や。
何の情報が欲しい？
登場界の100億、それにユミと水木って姉妹の情報だ。
報酬はい
くらかかるんだ？
情報を集めるのも金がかかるんだよ。どこにでも俺の手下はいる。キャバ嬢のパンツの色から裏の取引、表沙汰になってない殺しまで全て俺のところに話が入ってくる。そして俺はその星の数ほどの情報をつなぎ合わせて客の欲しい正確な情報を提供するんだ。だから俺の情報は高い。わかるよな？
今は無理だ。でも時間がない。
だろうな。
おいおい、
10年前堂島の竜っていや相当なもんだった。俺はヤクザってのが死ぬほど嫌いでな。だが情報屋ってのはとどのつまり覗き趣味でよ。あんたが天下の登場会敵に回して何しでかすか実のところ興味津々なんだ。
それじゃあ。
だがただで情報をやったんじゃ他に示しがつかねえ。俺はフェアじゃねえことは嫌いなんだ。
つまり
仕事をしてもらおう。堂島の竜にしかできねえ仕事をな。
地下闘技場か。
そうだ。金の使い道を思いつかねえ金持ち、血見るのが好きな変態どもがお得意様よ。戦士は殺しても殺されても問題ねえ。ここは西の河原だ。三途の川もすぐ近くってな。
俺にしかできねえ仕事ってのは
3人勝ち抜けば賞金が出る。そいつを手に入れられればそいつを情報料としてもらおうじゃねえか。 いいか桐生、これからこの先のリングで3人の男と連続で戦ってもらう。ルールは素手であること以外には特にない。好きに暴れてもらって結構だ。高額な金の代償だ。強いやつとやってもらう。で3人に勝ったら仕事をしたと認めてやろう。どうだ、分かったか？準備ができたら声をかけてくれ。
Alright, before we can actually enter the Kumite, we're gonna have to actually get rid of all of our items. Otherwise, if we talk to the Florist while we have our items on, we will be prevented from entering the Kumite. So yes, this is the second game where we have to go to the Kumite to actually fight to progress the story. By the way, the underground is going to be your bread and butter of making a lot of money and a lot of experience points. Like in the late chapters, if Majima everywhere wasn't giving you enough experience points, or the Yakuza training vests and all. So with that said, let's get started.
Ladies and gentlemen, ここで飛び入りのファイターが登場です。10年前、堂島の竜と恐れられ、自分の組長をその手にかけた仁義なき極道、Kiryu。迎え撃つはここまで2人勝ち抜き米国第9殺人逃亡犯ダニエル・フェルドマン。さあ時間無制限、ルールなし。
Our first match is literally easy. I mean, we could use any style we want, but the Kiwami for this guy, or the climax finish if you will, is rush form. But any style could pretty much put this guy in his place. He's a slow striker, and moreover, he only counters at certain intervals. But once you get him down to a half, he will start charging. And if you have a rush, it would make things a hell of a lot easier. I mean, I was gonna get the climax charge for rush, but it's okay. It's over.
さすが桐生一馬、極道の喧嘩殺法炸裂。さあ続いての挑戦者はムエタイミドル級元王者ガオヤン・ブラム。桐生一馬の初防衛戦、どんなファイトになるのでしょうか。今ゴングです。
And now we face off against a Muay Thai fighter. Just get used to these guys because all of the characters you're facing off against will show up again in the underground. You'll have to face them off one more time, and they'll be tougher than what they were before. I mean, they're only not that tough because you have to get through them. And yeah, Rush is the only thing that's gonna hurt Parak, and he's the only hard boss in this round due to the fact that, well, the next guy's not even gonna be that tough. But the climax heat for him is going to be Beast. I mean, if you use Beast, this will make things a lot easier because Beast actually hurts him more. It'll be more aggressive and you can actually grab him. If you manage to get some abilities for Beast, it'll be hard for Paruk to get away. But once you start charging, yep, time to switch up. This is what I wanted to do to the last guy, but doesn't matter. He's done. And he said Mate, I think.
飛び入りの桐生、快進撃が止まりません。おっと、今次の挑戦者が決まったようです。驚きです。なんと負け知らずのあの男が帰ってきました。過去3年このリングで全勝無敗、ベガスの地下リングチャンピオン
よう、また会ったな。
奇遇ですね、キルさん。即死と副上司、お好みは？
その日本語、意味分かって使ってんのか？
無敵の極道隊、無敗の地下王者。注目の一戦、今ゴングです。
Get used to Gary Buster Holmes, because while Gary Buster Holmes may look easy at first, in your second encounter with this guy in the underground, he's not going to be using his bare hands. Oh no. Well, actually, no, he's going to be a little bit tougher here because the rules state that they don't have any weapons. But I am going to point out something very important. Gary Buster Holmes is the only guy that actually does heat actions, so be careful. And he'll have more heat actions. Oh my god! He just took me to Suplex City. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell like that, but that took me by surprise. And I couldn't get the climax finish on him, so it's all good. He's done for. Woo! But he's gonna be tougher next time we face him.
まさに喧嘩最強、極道の勝利。無敗の王者に土をつけ、今新チャンピオン誕生。
次はお前が仕事する番だぜ。
安心しろ、約束は守る。俺はフェアだって言ったろ。
Well, that was the Kumite, and if you needed some quick money and experience in this game, you gotta go there. But we better further talk to the Florist. And by the way, I should mention, the Florist is basically a reoccurring character from this game going forward, because the Florist literally has control of all of Kamurocho in his network. Basically his network of bums. But the Florist is going to be a key important character of exposing a lot of the Dojima family or Omi alliance or whatever kind of factions plots. So yeah, get used to him because he will be here until Yakuza Like a Dragon.
登場界の100億とユミと水木って女の話だったな。登場界三代目は金が盗まれたことを隠していた。だがそれを錦山って直系組長が緊急幹部会で暴露したんだ。三代目を殺したのは俺は錦山だと踏んでる。奴の動きは四代目の椅子を狙っているようにしか見えねえ。
かもしれんな。
だが今の登場界は群雄割拠だ。三代目は死に、跡目もまだ決まってねえ。となれば100億取り戻した男が四代目だろう。錦山のたった一言の引き金で共食いの泥沼。任侠が聞いて呆れるぜ。100億を奪ったのはユミって女だ。こいつは匿名のタレコミがあったらしい。
何？
登場界で裏取ってるうち、妹の水木が事件の直前からアレス閉めて行方くらましているのが分かった。いよいよ本ボシってわけだが、二人とも見つかりやしねえ。それで
水木の娘遥か。
なんだって？
登場界は水木の娘を探している。遥か今俺と一緒にいるんだ。
遥か、そうだったのか。一昨日顔を隠した妙な女が来てな。そいつが探してくれって言ったこの名前が確か遥かだった。
それがユミか水木ってことは。
さあな。女の顔は見たが、俺にはそれがユミって女か水木って女かもわからねえ。得体のわからんやつとは仕事もできねえからな。丁重にお帰りいただいた。なんだ。そうか、わかった。 お前に客だ。
客？
見に行くぞ。足元注意しろ。
何？こいつは。
驚いていいぜ。ここがサイの河原の本当の姿だ。5年前警視庁は50台のカメラを取り付けた。テロ防止なんかが名目だが、所詮大して役には立ってねえ。だがよ、俺は実際にこの目で見てるんだ。1万台のカメラを設置してな。おい、客の様子を見せろ。
はい。
伊達さん。チカ、何があったんだ？
奴の行動をたどってみるか。奴の映ってる他の映像を出してみろ。伊達か。なんとも落ちぶれちまったもんだ。
伊達さんを知ってるのか？
ボス、10分前の映像です。
ん？
くそ。
ボス、トラブルです。
なんだ？
ライブ映像に回します。
桐生、伊達がヤバいぞ。
Date's in trouble, but unfortunately we're gonna have to stop it here. In the next episode of Yakuza Kiwami, we're gonna have to save Date from being jumped. This is RFman 985. Peace out and take care as we continue on with Kiryu's Hood Chronicles. Take care, everybody.